Namaskaram to all Atmas. Today, on this Sunday evening, we will see God's third commandment, which is to make the entire mankind to fulfill their duties, not only to the micro family in which they are born, but to the macro family, the world family in which they are living. And in that respect, as citizens of India, what we have to fulfill our macro family duties to our nation in building our country as a developed India. And by fulfilling these duties, we can release our karmas entirely and move in the path of attaining Jivan Mukti. That is the God's third commandment. This is for all the citizens of India to achieve this Jivan Mukti state by fulfilling their duties to the macro family. In that respect, we have so far covered various charter points that pertains to what individual social responsibility one has to fulfill, corporate social responsibility, what the companies have to fulfill. Under the government social responsibility, we have covered a series of charter points, and in this we are now going to touch upon the second stage of charter point number 11. This is the tax reformation that we need to bring, monetary and tax reformation. As we told last time in the last session about this charter point, monetary reformation is mainly an instruction, an appeal to the government to bring in complete demonetization, that is, ban all the physical currency and bring absolute fully 100% virtual currency. That is the first monetary reformation that we need to bring, which is meant to eradicate corruption, eradicate black money accumulation, to eradicate the parallel economy. So that is the step which we can bring, make the country into developed nation at a very fast rate. And in that respect, today we will see who are the people who are accumulating black money. Black money is accumulated by businessmen, politicians, government servants, film stars, sports person, people doing illegal and immoral business like drug trafficking, smugglers, and human trafficking. How black money is accumulated by businessmen? Business people do their business in two forms: Paka account and Kacha account. In Paka account, they bill with GST and show the sales turnover in their balance sheet and pay income tax for it. But the sales done through Kacha account, which forms a larger part of their business, it involves sales without bill on which no GST is declared nor paid. Now this amount is shown, this sales turnover is shown in the books of account as sales income. Hence, this sales done through Kacha account will not subject to income tax. The money accumulated through Kacha account sales is black money. As they have to purchase raw materials to the extent of goods sold through Kacha account, black money, they do Hawala transactions to procure the same through shell companies. How black money is accumulated by politicians and government servants. Politicians like ministers, MP, MLAs in power get bribed on signing of MOU with foreign companies who intend to start their wholly owned subsidiaries or joint ventures in India, especially in sanctioning of government land for construction of factories and for getting various licenses approvals for running the same. They get huge bribes in grant of contracts for purchase of defense, railway, various government projects. They take bribes for granting tender for various infrastructure projects in state and central government departments. Besides, they siphon funds allocated for various social welfare programs, showing wrong accounts and accumulate black money. Government servants take bribes for various approvals and registrations or for finalizing assessments. This black money with these politicians and government servants are all unaccounted black money which they keep in their benami names in acquisition of land or gold or stash in Swiss banks or keep in tax haven countries. How black money is accumulated by film stars and sports persons. Top film stars get huge income from their say of film acting, direction, music. Some top film actors and reputed sportsperson earn huge money acting as models or brand ambassadors for commercial advertisement endorsements. To avoid tax, they take a major portion of this amount as unaccounted black money, which they keep in their benami names as tax at abroad in Swiss bank or tax haven countries. How black money is accumulated by smugglers, drug traffickers, human traffickers. Smugglers, people involved in drug trafficking or human trafficking like sale of children, girls, sales of human parts, they accumulate only unaccounted black money. How illiterate people are accumulating black money. In India, with over 140 crore population, only 5 crore people are filing tax returns and show their income. But there are a lot of small-time street vendors, pani puri walas, who earn lakhs per month, but being illiterate, they do not know about income tax and they accumulate this as unaccounted black money. What is the spiritual law these businessmen, politicians, film stars, etc. are suffering due to this accumulation of black money? These people who are accumulating black money physically are in fact accumulating sins and bad karma to their karma account spiritually, which they should avoid. Why business people are not disclosing their entire sales income and booking under Kacha account and accumulating black money? In India, there are many taxes and cess levied by central and state governments like corporate tax, capital gains tax, personal income tax, GST, custom duty, excise duty, service tax, education tax, local taxes, etc. Corporate tax is at 10-30%, GST is at 18%, and so on. These taxes eat away the major portion of their income, and to avoid these taxes, the businessmen are doing kacha account business transactions and accumulating hawala black money. How to eradicate this accumulation of black money by businessmen, film stars, sports person, and account their entire business income to make them to avoid accumulation of sins and bad karmas. Government should introduce 100% virtual currency and ban all physical currency so that all transactions can be done only through banking transactions and all the money get accounted. Besides, government should reduce the tax, direct and indirect tax rate to 10 to 15% so that the entire sales income will be disclosed by all the businessmen and the government will earn huge direct and indirect income. As regards unaccounted income of film stars and sports person, once the government introduces 100% virtual currency, then they can receive their money through banking transactions only, which will automatically get accounted for which they need to pay tax. Government should announce the tax amnesty and the direct and indirect taxes for all these businessmen, film stars, sports persons to disclose their accumulated unaccounted black money income over a period and pay the minimum tax and avoid penalties and prosecutions. Once they account their entire accumulated unaccounted black money of the past and disclose their entire income and pay tax in the present and future, they will be released of their bad karmas. How to eradicate accumulation of black money by politicians, government servants from their unaccounted bribery income? Corruption and bribery taken by politicians and government servants cannot be eradicated from the system in full. However, with the introduction of 100% virtual currency, this entire bribery amount can be received only through banking channel, and hence their entire bribery and money received through siphoning of social welfare programs will get accounted in their books, for which they have to pay tax. Besides, the government can introduce an amnesty scheme for these politicians and government servants to disclose their entire accumulated black money and pay one-time tax without levy of any penalty or prosecution. Once they account their entire accumulated unaccounted black money of the past and disclose their entire income and pay tax in the present, they will be released of their bad karma. How to eradicate black money accumulated by smugglers, drug traffickers, and human traffickers? Since smugglers, drug and human traffic are illegal and immoral acts, government should take stringent steps to eradicate these illegal and immoral activities from the system. For this, government should form separate anti-smuggling and anti-drug and human trafficking squad to do thorough investigation of all such black money activities and bring in the culprits to books by arresting and penalizing them. Besides, they should confiscate their entire bank accounts, properties in India and abroad. By this way, spiritually these smugglers, people involved in drug human trafficking, if their properties are confiscated by tax authorities and if they avoid doing such fresh transactions, they can be released of accumulating future karma. But for the past karma, they have to pay the consequences by accepting the penalties and prosecutions by which they can be released of their karmas. How to eradicate accumulation of black money without the knowledge by the illiterate people? One person, one bank. Today it is observed that out of 140 crore population, only 5 crore people are filing tax returns. But there are a lot of small-time street vendors, pani puri walas, who earn lakhs per month, but being illiterate, they do not know how to file income tax returns. To bring all the citizens to contribute for the economic upliftment of the country and to make developed India, government should introduce virtual currency linked with one person, one bank account, where the government should abolish cash in all forms and introduce only virtual currency. It is all earning payments that be done only through net banking, GPay, etc. UPA to their banking account. For this, government should introduce one person, one bank account, stipulating that each citizen or corporate entity should have only one bank account, whereby all income and expenses of the person will be done through virtual net banking or GPay, which gets recorded in the single bank account. At the end of the financial year, each bank should appoint tax practitioners or tax auditors to finalize the accounts from the individual bank accounts of all the account holders and file the tax returns of each account holder after discussing with them and after adjusting the threshold limit, deduct the tax liability, if any, from their account and pay the tax to the government. This will ensure more taxpayers and the entire income tax revenue will multiply exponentially to the government. And also we can make the illiterate, all the illiterate people or small time vendors to be the taxpayers. Make them to pay the tax and come into the tax net by filing the income tax returns. The entire country, all the people will be able to pay the income tax without taking any specific efforts in identifying the tax practitioner through whom they have to do. So the government itself, through the banking channel, can do this. So this can be used for people's, this money so accumulated, this exponential form of income that are earned. They can be used for people's welfare scheme and for infrastructure development to make our nation to develop India. Thus, with the government taking the above steps, the black money accumulation can be eradicated and make all people to pay tax and fulfill their duties perfectly, by which they can have peace of mind and also relieve of the karmas that can take them in the path of attaining Jivan Mukti one day. So, this is the God's third commandment as to how people can do their duty and whatever past mistakes they can, how they can correct it and how they can able to come out of their accumulation of karmas and move in the path of Jivan Mukti. Let us make the government, let us raise our voice of people and also all political parties, media, everybody should raise our voice to make the government to implement this scheme by which we can eradicate black money and we can increase the income tax collection manyfold that can be used for the nation building process and to make the India a developed nation at the fastest rate. And also make everyone to fulfill their duties, release their karmas and move in the path of mukti. Jai Hind.